Hi, this is Mrs. Clark and welcome to my video about translating. We're going to be doing some different examples of how to translate objects. We're also going to talk about how to describe a translation, and we're going to look at the third piece here, which is how to write an algebraic rule, all for different criteria that will be assessed on for transformations. All right, so for the first one, we talked about a translation. We defined it as in a translation, every point of an object must be moved in the same direction and for the same distance. So we're in this first example where we're asked to translate 2 units to the right and 3 units up. We're going to take every point and we're going to move each point 2 units to the right and 3 units up. We're going to do that one at a time, and so that we have each point, and then we're going to connect our shape to show that they are, in fact, the same shape. We can actually do a quick overview and double check. All right, so let's do the first one. So we have this R. We're going to move this R 2 units to the right and 3 units up. And I'm going to put my point right there, and I'm going to label it R prime. And then same thing with Q, 2 units to the right, 3 units up. It's going to be my Q prime. And 2 units to the right, 3 units up. It's going to be my S prime. And I'm going to go ahead and connect these together. And just do a quick visual check to see that these two shapes look to be about the same size. Make sure the angles look about the same. That way I know if I connected the dots in a different order by mistake, or maybe missed one of the points by like one square. So there we go. This is our pre-image, moves to our image here, slides 2 to the right and 3 units up. So the whole shape moves 2 to the right and 3 units up. So the way that I do that is I just move each point one at a time. All right, number 2. Translation 3 units to the left and 2 units down. So 3 to the left, 2 down. Do the same thing here. H is going to go 3 to the left, 2 units down. It's going to be my H prime. 3 to the left, 2 units down. That is my G prime. And 3 units to the left, 2 units down. My I prime is actually going to land right where G was. So the two triangles are going to touch right there at G and I prime. And there we have it. This triangle slid 3 units to the left and 2 units down, giving us G prime, I prime, H prime. All right. Next thing we're going to have to do is look at a transformation and determine what type it is and describe it in words. So for criterion C, communication, we're going to need to describe what has happened. So first I need to figure out which one is the image. So this bottom one has the primes on it, which means that's my image. So this one up here is my pre-image. And this is my image. So we can see it moves down and it also shifts to the left. So we want to talk specifically about how many boxes it moves. So it's a translation. And if I take 1 point and I count 1, 2, 3, 4 units down, 1, 2, 3, 4 units to the left. So it's a translation, 4 units down and 4 units to the left. Okay. In number 4, we can see that this time the pre-image is down here and it's moving up here. So it's moving up and to the right. So it's a translation. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 units up and 1, 2 units to the right. Now you could also say it's a translation 2 units to the right and 6 units up. It does not matter which order we say it in, just that we have both specific directions in the example, or in our description. All right, number 5, we're asked to write the algebraic rule to describe each transformation. So I know it's a translation. I want to show what's happening to the actual coordinates. So first thing I did is I wrote down the coordinates of the pre-image. R, S, and T are my coordinates. So I started at the origin. I went over 1 in the x direction and 2 in the y direction. That's why this is 1, 2, in case you forgot how to read coordinates from a graph. For S, from the origin, it's 3, 4. So it's 3, 4. And for T, I moved to the right 5 in the x direction, but it doesn't go up at all. That's why it's a 0. So the next thing we need to do is, for the image, let's write down the coordinates of R prime, S prime, and T prime. And then we're going to look for a pattern to see what happens from one to the other. So R prime is 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. So it's actually negative 4, 1. S prime is negative 2, 3. And T prime is 0, negative 1. All right. So when I'm looking for my pattern, I'm looking to see what's happening to the x's, what's happening to the y's. So the original x was 1 and it became negative 4, so it's decreasing. And then it was 3 and became negative 2, and it was 5 and became 0. So all of them are decreasing, and you'll notice 5 minus 5 is 0, 3 minus 5 is negative 2, 1 minus 5 is negative 4. So basically, I take the original x and I subtract 5, and that gets me to my new x coordinate. This x coordinate is made up of this x coordinate subtracted by 5. So I want to look for what's happening in the y. Y is going from 2 to 1. It's decreasing by 1. 4 to 3, decreasing by 1. 0 to negative 1, again, decreasing by 1. So my y, my original y, is subtracting 1 from here to here. So the pattern that we see is that xy maps to x minus 5, y minus 1. And that is our algebraic notation, or an algebraic rule. All right. So we're going to do the same thing for number 6. I'm going to have you pause the video, go ahead and write down your coordinates, and then see what they map to, and see if you can come up with the notation on your own. Then check back for my answer. Okay, so here's what I got. W, negative 4, 2, maps to W prime, negative 2, negative 3. So looking at the x, it's actually increasing because it's going closer to 0, and the y's are decreasing. So if I focus on the x first, x is increasing 2 here. Negative 1 is also increasing 2 to get to 1. And negative 1 to 1 is again 2, and negative 4 to negative 2 is increasing by 2. So my original x is increasing by 2, so I write x plus 2. Y's, 2 is going to negative 3, 4 is going to negative 1, 3 is going to negative 2, so we're subtracting 5, so y minus 5 for our y value. So our algebraic rule for this one is xy maps to x plus 2, y minus 5. All right, go ahead and fold this in half now, like this, and you can label it Translation Notes and Examples, and go ahead and glue it into your notebook. Thank you for watching.